You're watching TOON Army TV. Welcome to the channel. This is the Newcastle United versus Leeds United match preview for this Tuesday night's game at St James's Park. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League. This video will have no graphics over it. I do apologise. I just want to get this preview over and done with, have me say, and let's hope that Leeds United put the final nail in Steve Bruce's coffin when it comes to his management, because I don't want to see Steve Bruce manage his club anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing the excuses. I just want him gone. I really do. The winless run started at Leeds when we lost 5-2 at Ellen Road, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. And I'm just hoping that Marcelo Bielsa puts an end to Steve Bruce in terms of him managing Newcastle United Football Club. You only had to look at the final whistle at Villa Park when the players just looked out. They looked dejected. Sorry. For me, that sends a message loud and clear to the board that fresh ideas are needed, in that the club can't go any further forward with Steve Bruce and his non-tactics. Steve Bruce said in his press conference last night, there were certain parts of the game I was pleased with. What were you pleased with? What were you pleased with in that game? Because I see nothing to be pleased about. If anything, we should have been tanked 5 or 6-0. We couldn't cope with Aston Villa. And Villa are meant to be around us. Says it all, really. It says it all. The gloves are off. I'm doing things my way. What's changed? I'm sick of hearing the excuses. The players are not playing for him. They really are not. I'd like to be wrong, but I can't see it on the pitch. We can't do the basics right. We can't string two passes together. Our midfield gets overrun. Defensively, we're awful. Darlow's made some mistakes, but he's not alone in that. The 5 at the back wing-back system, 4-4-2, which is not even 4-4-2 anymore. It's basically 5-6-7 at the back. In the final third, we're toothless. There's just nothing there. The service is awful. Callum Wilson, Carroll, whoever he starts, they're just spectators because they've got nothing to work with. Steve Bruce comes out with, in press conferences, I'm going to try. I'm going to have a crack. I'm going to roll my sleeves up. All that bollocks. It's not working, man. It's not working. If it was working, we'd be getting results. The table doesn't lie. We're on a massive decline. And every club now that plays up against us, we must be their training session. We must be their training session because, listen, we don't have a clue. We're second best to pretty much everything right now. Second best. We don't even belong in this league anymore. And if Steve Bruce believes that ASM is the answer to his final roll of the dice, with what I seen yesterday with ASM, the lad could barely run. And that is concerning. You can't just bring players back for the sake of it when he's just battling, through a long-term, injury, and he's had, COVID to deal with. We just don't have a clue, man. We really don't. Leeds United, on the other hand, they lost the last 3 games. They're not doing very well. But that's not to say that they won't turn their form around. They lost to Crawley Town 3-0 in the FA Cup, which was a bit of an embarrassment for them. They lost 1-0 at Ellen Road to Brighton and Hove Albion, which I was quite surprised about. But I do expect Leeds to get back to winning ways on Tuesday night. I can't see past a Leeds win. It sounds so negative to say that, but where's the positives? There is no positives. Because if you can't get the basics right in the game, especially in the Premier League, then you're going to lose more games than you win. I've said this in so many videos. The fact that the board are keeping Steve Bruce on says it all, really. Cheap option. Steve Bruce, right, should do the right thing and resign. But he's getting a hefty paycheck by Mike Ashley, and why should he walk away? When, if anything, he'll not be getting paid. He wouldn't be daft enough to walk away, but if he calls himself a Geordie, it's the right thing to do. Mike Ashley, if he wants the full sale of the club, well, he's not going to get that right now on the current decline. If we get relegated, he's only going to get half of that. 150 million if you're lucky. Change is definitely needed. We need a voice now. That's what we need. Because Steve Bruce cannot get a tune out of these lads. There's no doubt in the press conference on Monday he's going to say, we're going to have a go, rather than demand a win. If I'm a manager, you demand that the players give everything for the shirt. They leave nothing that shouldn't be on that pitch. Go and give everything, and walk away with blood, sweat, and tears that you've given, everything for, the fan base, the town, the city, what that club represents. Because right now, we're a club that's gonna sleepwalk into the relegation zone. Once we get into that relegation zone, we're not getting out, and if we do get relegated, we're not coming back up. Players will just look to hand in a transfer request. Wilson's not going to stay here. ASM's not going to stay here. Miggy's going to be away. Richie will be away. Fraser will be away. I can name many players that will be away from this football club. And let's be honest, it's probably not a bad thing. We can go on a bit of a rebuilding process and we hope that something happens in terms of a takeover. But in terms of the game itself, I don't think much will change. We'll probably end up getting battered 5-2 again. I wouldn't be at all shocked or surprised if that actually comes off. But I don't see we're winning this game. I really don't. That's quite sad, going into games suggesting that we're going to, lose the game. No fan should ever think like that. But if you look at the club, if you're a fan from the outside looking in, it's just toxic, and the players just represent what's going on, at board level right now. I look at our squad. They're not a bad bunch of players. I do rate them, and I want them to do well. But under Steve Bruce, they're not going to do well. And not just that, they're never going to kick on at this football club with Mike Ashley as the owner, because the best that we can hope for is mid-table. I feel sorry for Wilson, I really do. I feel sorry for Miggy at times. I feel sorry for Isaac Hayden. I feel sorry for the likes of Darlow. The ones who actually give their absolute all for the club, but just know that we can't go any further forward. Leeds, listen, they've got some dangerous players that we know about. Alioski, Patrick Bamford. He scored a couple at Ellen Road a month ago. You'd be looking to get on the score sheet, no doubt. And just the way they play football, it's tick-a-tacker. Pass, move. Stick the ball in the back of the net. We're only saving grace for Leeds is that they do concede goals. The best that we can hope for is a goal. If we can score a goal, then there you go. That sounds like progression. It's not. You want to see a win, but we just don't like drawn games right now. We really don't. Team lineup. So my predicted 11 for the game on Tuesday night. I'm going to say 4-2-3-1. In goal, Dubravka. Left back, Jamal Lewis. Right back, Javier Manquillo. The two centre-backs, Jamal Lascelles and Fabian Schär. The two sitting in deep, John Joe Shelvey and Isaac Hayden. Shelvey because he's the best we've got in terms of that CDM role. In the number 10, I want to see Miggy Almiron. On the left-hand side, Ryan Fraser. The right-hand side, Alan St. Maximin. And up front, Callum Wilson. That's probably the best starting 11 for the game. There could be other changes in there. You could bring in Matty Longstaff, Matt Ritchie, maybe Andy Carroll if you're going to play wingers. But that's the best I can think of with what we've got. Steve Bruce can do tried and tested with his squad, but they're not playing for him. And I just can't see past, Leeds United dictating play and dominating the game from start to finish. I could be wrong. I want to come back on Tuesday night and say that we've won a game. But I'm just now hoping that he's been given the sack, because he can't stay that much longer. In terms of the score prediction, I'm going to go 1-1. I don't know why I'm saying that. I guess because we're at home. It doesn't change anything. We're still going to lose, games post Leeds. But it just says it all, really, that I'm expecting we're to draw with Leeds. And I'm not disrespecting Leeds in any way, but we're at home. You should be looking to get 3 points in games like this. Leeds United would say the same if you're at Ellen Road. But Leeds United are a good side. But I wouldn't be surprised if we'll come away with a defeat, or even a heavier defeat than what I'm saying. 1-1, I'm being nice towards the lads. It still doesn't take away the fact if we do draw the game, that's no win in 11 games. It's a sackable offence. Steve Bruce should not be here. And it's only because the board think that Fulham aren't going to win any more games as to the reason why Steve Bruce is still here. I'm just hoping that Fulham win some games just to get rid of Steve Bruce. I shouldn't wish wins on any other club when they're lower down than us, but it's come to the point now where I'm just sick of it all. I'm sick. I really am. And Fulham eventually will start picking up results. They are 7 points adrift with a game in hand. We're 16th. We're not going to stay there. It's as simple as that. And if we win any more games, even if we somehow get a win on Tuesday, it's just paper over the cracks. It just keeps Steve Bruce in a job. And I don't think any of the fans want Steve Bruce, in a job. It says it all. when you've got flags out at St James's Park. What was it, along the lines of, Mike Ashley, you're stealing the club's fate, basically. Something along them lines. Justified. The way we're playing right now is just awful. The spineless owners in charge of this football club have no clue. If only we had an owner that had the footballing knowledge of this great fan base, then the club could go forward, but we can't. And listen, I'm expecting to come back on Tuesday night and say that Leeds United have won the game. But we'll wait and see. But anyway, that's the end of the preview. Make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe, turn the notification bell, put your comments down below for your starting 11s and your score predictions, and I'll see you all later. How are the lads?